So I did a mushroom trip last night, which was really good actually to start with. Um, it started really well, really peaceful, really chilled out. Started to go into my mind, and I don't know. I felt like I was getting a better understanding of what's going on, and answer it. I felt like some deep questions that I had were being answered, which was pretty profound actually. And I mean, the visuals were ridiculous at one point. Everything was moving, and everything was coming towards me. So it felt like I don't know. It felt like everything was coming towards me. I can't really explain it. And then out of nowhere, I got this feeling like this needs to end. And as soon as that happened, that's when I started freaking out. And I was like, oh shit. I mean, I can't even explain it. I was in like a loop, and I was trying to Google how to basically end the trip, and I couldn't see my phone, and I just couldn't be in my head anymore. Like I wanted to be back. Like when you go in your head, you have like these. I don't know how long it is. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. But like I had this one moment where I felt like I was asking like what happens after death, and I was like at the edge, and this thing was telling me, I can tell you more, but you need to come with me. But in order to come, what I established, in order to come with this thing, I had to let go of all of this. And it was like, if you let go, you may never come back. So I started kind of questioning that, and whatever it was like, you're not ready, bang, see you later. And I was like, oh shit. And then I've started to come back to the room. And then, like, things are quite funny, I'm laughing. And then I had this experience where I was laying down, and all this energy was like flying into my heart, and it was becoming really intense. And I was like, I'm just going to let this happen, and all that. And you get all these thoughts, these deep thoughts, and I try and think these deep thoughts anyway. So it's like a hotbed of like madness for me, which is good. But when I started freaking out, and this was towards the end actually, I was trying to Google, how to end it. I've gone in the kitchen, I'm drinking milk, I started eating, and then we had some oranges, so I was like frantically like trying to cut this orange. I ended up cutting my fucking finger as well. Never hold a knife while you're doing mushrooms. Anyway, and then I got in this loop of fear and darkness. It was like that song, "Hello Darkness, my old friend." And yeah, I couldn't break out of it, and I couldn't distinguish what was real and what wasn't. And I had this fucking horrible worry of I'm in some void between death and real reality, and I just couldn't snap back. And that lasted for what felt like a long time. And to be honest, I went to bed at 9:30, rolling round, felt fucking awful. And whenever I was about to doze off, something woke me up, and I'm like, oh no. And then I kept convincing myself I'm tripping still. And then I actually woke up. I think I fell asleep for about half an hour, and I woke up with a dead arm. And I've lifted my arm, and it didn't look like my arm. Oh, that was pretty bad. But anyway, I managed to get to sleep. I feel fucking awful today. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I've got to do Insanity. Oh, Jesus. And obviously get back to work. So, I don't know what I learned there. I think I learned that I'm not as strong as I thought. Um, I'm not as strong as I thought. I thought I was. I thought I like really overcome the fear of death, and it seemed like the theme was when you die, this is literally it. And it was letting go, and I just couldn't. But weirdly, I've done DMT a couple of times and I have let go. But the problem is, well, with DMT, there's no negotiations, you know. When you do DMT, it's see you later. And if you've done enough, you're not, you know, there's no coming back. But then you come back and you're just put straight back in the body. And you're normal, you feel fine. Like you can go out for a drive, you can eat, you know, cook food or whatever. But this knocked me back for hours. I mean, I took the thing at, I don't know what time. It must have been about 6. No, it was earlier than that. It was around 5ish. And I just couldn't distinguish time. Like, I was just lost. Lost on reality, everything. And I genuinely thought, I'm not coming back. So I guess the lesson here is the fear of death. I need to keep working on that, which I have been for years. And I thought I had it, but that was dark. Like, that was as dark as the darkest, deepest depression I've ever felt. And I've had some times in my life that have been pretty bloody dark. And yeah, that was doomsday, like code fucking black. And I guess I'm not as strong as I thought. I thought I could navigate my mind and I thought I could control my mind. But ironically, it felt like I didn't want to. That was the weird thing. You know, I was talking to a couple of people at the time, which was with a great deal of struggle because I couldn't fucking navigate my phone. Like, I was looking at the phone and it was just melting out my hand. It was, yeah. And I was trying to talk to a few people and they're like, just breathe, just calm down. And I'm like, I just don't want to. I just want normality. So that was pretty painful. So, I don't know. I think I'll be taking a bit of time off that one for a while. Got some demons to sort out, haven't I?